Mate, since 2007, since you first came onto the scene, it's been a pretty wild ride for Five Finger Death Punch. How's that been?
Well, definitely. It's been we've been in the eye of the tornado, so to speak. You know, some of them, or most of them, are self-inflicted. You know, it's a rock band, so you know. But I mean, you wouldn't have it any other way. You know, it's like the saying, smooth waters don't make great sailors. You know, kind of situation. I mean, look, it's been quite a ride. You know, and basically in 10 years, you know, we accomplished a lot. I mean, if I compare ourselves to a lot of bands, you know, we probably put out twice the records most bands do put out in this period of time. So we have 7 records out, and every year we were out on the road touring about 250 days every year, you know. So it was like a lot of hard work, you know, just kind of climbing and climbing. A lot of fun, and you know, it's just a lot of crazy shit happens. I mean, that's just what it is. It's a rock band, so you know, it's we are in a tabloids all the time because some crazy stuff happens. So that's just what it is, you know. And you know, the guys now, most of the guys kind of calmed down a little bit, you know.
Yep.
But we had some years when imagine when Nicky Six, from all people, Nicky Six from Motley Crue comes up to you and says, "Guys, you guys are out of your mind. Maybe you want to take it down a notch." Then you know that you're doing something fucking crazy. If Nicky Six tells you that maybe you guys are a little bit out of control.
and talking about, like you just said, that you've calmed down a bit now, it's more or less finding that balance in life, isn't it?
Well, you know, it's the whole thing is like, you know, when you hit the road, when you're a touring band, right? People don't really realize. Well, first and foremost, all of a sudden, you know, the success started to happen. You know, you have access to a lot of things that you probably didn't have before. You know,
yeah.
But all of a sudden, that life just happens to you. You know what I mean? And of course, it's everybody. Of course, takes advantage of that and doing the stuff that, you know, that comes with the lifestyle. So, you know, and you know, every city you go to, people come out and they. Hey, let's go have a drink. Let's do this. Let's do that. Because you're the band. You're bringing the party. You are the attraction. So that, you know, those people that will show up, they live in that particular town. They're gonna want to hang out and want to party. They don't really look at it in a way that, for us, we are on the road for 200 days now. That means for 200 days before this particular date, everybody did the same. So every day somebody comes and, hey, let's go, let's have a drink, let's do that. You can't do that for 200 days in a row, because that's what's going to happen. For them, it's that one day. For you, it's all year round. So, of course, you know, a lot of musicians kind of fall victim to that, and that's why you have, you know, unfortunately, a lot of them are gone now, or, you know, a lot of them are in rehab, and some of them sort of, you know, make it through. I could say, like, for us, we made it through. You know, all the guys now, you know, most of them went to rehab at one point, or, you know, struggled with these situations, and now they are okay. But, you know,
yep.
But we had some, you know, some craziest times. And I was kind of like, you know, for me particularly, I'm only addicted to work. You know what I mean? I like working. I like the chess game. I like the business. I like moving, you know, chessboard. I mean, figures on a chessboard, and, you know, it's fun for me. Is it an addiction? Yeah. If I go to the beach, it takes me about 10 minutes before I start to go like, fuck, I can't sit here. I gotta do something, you know?
Yep,
So
yep.
yeah, I have an addiction to work, you know? Everybody, that's what I get my juice from. But, so I was the kind of, the guys always said, you know, when I come around, they're like, Dad is coming, you know, hide the shit, Dad is coming. Somebody had to keep it together, you know?
Yep.
And that's just what it is, man. That's, you know, wouldn't have it any other way. I guess everybody got to experience at least that lifestyle. But, you know, then comes the moment when you realize that, hey, we are successful. We have a lot of, you know, we had great memories. We have a big, long path still before us, you know? There's still a lot of things to accomplish, you know, and there's a lot of things that we can still accomplish and do. And do you wanna hit the wall now? So everybody had this moment of realization, like, you know what? maybe we should slow down a little bit. And Nicky Six is probably right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the other thing is too,
you know, because he would know.
The other thing is too, whether you like it or not, you're role models to a lot of your fans as well. So I mean, that's important as well to stay on the straight and narrow.
Oh, it is absolutely right, 100%. You know, and yeah, and then we lost so many musicians. You know, we had so many artists that have gone because they didn't make it through. You know.
Yep.
But I mean, that's how I can look at it. Like, look, we are a band, and even the craziest shit happens, we do have that motto that no one gets left behind, you know. We pull each other through, you know. The last year, 2017, was probably the craziest for the band. It was our biggest year. The band became an arena headliner worldwide. In the same time, holy shit, you know what I mean? The craziest stuff was happening, and you know, and there was a moment when we actually had to step in and tell Ivan, or the vocalist, that hey, you gotta stop now, because we're not gonna watch you die, we're not gonna watch you, you know, do this to yourself. So we actually had to give him an ultimatum, like we're gonna take away the things that you love the most, which is he's a musician, he's a performer, he lives for that 2 hours a day, you know what I mean, but he has to get on stage. And we had to, unfortunately, it's hard because he's my brother, you know.
Yep.
So it's hard to do that to somebody and say, like, hey, we're going to take this away from you if you don't clean up, because we just simply can't watch you die. And he went to rehab and he cleaned that, and it's amazing now, you know, that he's completely sober. We travel in the world, and I get to, and all of us get to experience it again through his eyes. Because we've been everywhere. He just doesn't remember. You know what I mean? It's just fucked up, you know what I mean? So he just simply doesn't remember, and he didn't go to enjoy, you know, like we went to Paris, I don't know how many times. He never seen the Eiffel Tower because he just didn't give a crap, you know?
Yeah.
So, and now that he's sober, now he wants to see all those things. Well, he goes out and, you know, and do certain things, you know? And speaking of motorcycles, now he can actually ride a motorcycle.
Ah, right. And what does he own?
You know what I mean? Now he can if he wants to. Because before I would have worried about him.
That's awesome. And you said before...
I mean, I have two guys, like, you know, both Chris Cale and Chris Cale, bass guitarist, and Jason are both riders. They do ride.
Oh, yeah, what
Chris
bikes?
has a Harley.
Harley, yep.
Chris has a Harley and a Victory. Jason is crazy. Jason has about 7 motorcycles.
Oh, right, excellent.
Yeah. He has. I know he has a Harley. I think he has a Victory as well. I think he has a Ducati.
Oh, awesome.
And a bunch of like Kawasaki's, like, you know, like he has a lot of dirt bikes. He has like 4 dirt bikes at least, and I know that he has a Ducati.
So it's probably easy. It's probably too easy to ask what hasn't he got. He sounds like he's got one of every model.
Yeah, well, you know, he has got, you know, he doesn't have the cross rocket. He has the one, you know, that's kind of an enduro or whatever that the Ducati has. That's kind of a
the multi-strada.
You know what I mean? It's a cruising bike. It's a touring bike or whatever you guys call it.
Fantastic. And you said earlier, like, compared to other bands, you're always busy. I mean, 2013 alone, you did 2 albums, like Wrong Side of Heaven Volumes 1 and 2, all in the same year. Yeah,
you know, I mean, that's exactly what I mean by, you know, the world got really loud and really fast, you know what I mean? So back in the days, we could, you know, we were waiting for like an AC/DC or a Metallica, a Black Sabbath, those big bands, right? They could wait 2, 3, 4 years between albums, and we were waiting for those albums, right? It's different now, you know, because music is no longer the center of the universe, so to speak, you know, like the kids are playing games and video games and whatever the hell, not stay inside your room, don't go outside, whatever the fuck they're doing, you know, and music is no longer the main form of entertainment that it used to be, so the attention just is not on music anymore the way it used to be, and the world is loud, the news are just bombing you every day with the craziest shit, right? So I don't think a band can afford to disappear for a long period of time. I think these days bands cannot afford themselves that they disappear for 3, 4 years.
Yep.
Maybe a handful of bands, maybe a Tool, you know, or a Perfect Circle or Tool like Maynard can maybe afford himself to, or a Metallica can afford that. they don't put out an album frequently, but but most bands, they cannot. And our idea was like, look, we are hardworking guys, we love what we do, we have a chance finally to do what we wanted to do for a living. This is true freedom,
Yeah.
True freedom is when what you do is no longer work, it's you enjoy it, so it's not really work. So if you got to do something that it's not work for you, imagine if you were getting paid for riding motorcycles, right?
Yep.
And that's all you're getting paid for. You would be pretty happy, right?
Yeah,
So it's no longer work, So basically, that's kind of the whole thing. So then why would I not do it? Why would I take time off? So that's kind of our attitude, and so we put out more records than anybody else. We just,
Yep.
finally, it's 1 in a million bands that get to this level. And so once we stepped on the gas pedal, we just never took our foot off.
Yeah.
We were like, fuck, we are in, let's do this. And we just pedal to the metal, full speed, and we just, that's what we do. And when the time comes that we have to take a break because for whatever reason, then we will. But right now, it's just, the last 10 years was just absolutely crazy, but it was all in the fast lane. And I'm not about to complain about that,
Yeah. And the new album, you've cranked things up even more. What do you personally? What's your favourite song on the album?
Well, this is a really diverse record, because every album that you make as a band is sort of, or at least for us, it's kind of a time capsule, right? Because we write about politically, socially, or just humanly relevant stuff, things that happens to all of us. So it's about, friendship and relationships and loyalty and, just human elements. And beyond that, obviously some social, some political things that we touch on, not too deeply, but we that's what we talk about. We don't really think about mythology and history and all that shit. It's not really interesting to us. So this is what we do. It's all about current and relevant things. And so because we had such a crazy year in 2016 and 2017, the album, as being a time capsule sort of encompasses that, like you can feel that the songs are all over the place in some way, but they fit together,
Yep.
all over the place meaning, very diverse, like all kind of, like at one moment, Ivan is singing about being angry, thinking about like this song called Fake, and he's talking about pretty much, what is real that's left in the world, you know what I mean? When everybody lives on social media, nobody looks like how the picture look like in social media. Everybody's pretending to have this great fucking life on social media. You know what I mean? Everybody's pretending to be something they're not really. And the world is fake, everybody's, politicians are fake, the news are fake, everything is an agenda. So he's kind of a total angry song, just cursing about the whole lyrics about, fake people and fake situations. And then there are songs that he's singing about top of the world, which is an uplifting song, for example. He's on that day probably, maybe that was the day when we, settled or lost it with our label or whatever day that was. You know what I mean? And he's talking about that feeling when you achieve something and, you feel like you're on top of the world. And so it kind of goes through the gamut of every emotion. It's hard to pick a particular song because every song means something else. But there is Champagne, for example. I really like Champagne. That's it's kind of a play on the word. It's champagne because everything is every glass is half full and half empty in the same time. And he's basically talking about that we have a great life, so we can't complain. It's a very sarcastic song about that. That it's all champagne. Our life was pretty good, but people don't see that. That between two shows, I have to. 4 different airplanes are cancelled, and then we have to get on the bus, and the bus breaks down, and then whatever. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to get to the next show, sometimes it's a freaking nightmare. But nobody really sees. We just have to deal with it, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
he's kind of talking about that. Then there's a song, "The Seasons Change." I really like that song. That's about loyalty. No matter what happens, you're real, true friends. The people are actually real in your life. They'll stay. They will be always there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it kind of covers everything. That's usually how we write lyrics and music and everybody gonna find something that is relevant to them.
Yeah, exactly. All right, mate. Legend Zoltan, you've been great. I've just got a few quick questions to finish, personal questions. What about your musical influences growing up?
Musical influences, all right. I mean, I actually started to listen to like British underground punk music. Like that's what the first, sort of musical influence that I would say that I had. Like the most obscure crap you can imagine that people probably don't know about. Like bands like Cockney Reject and Manufactured Romance and like the bigger ones maybe like UK Subs, GBH, Exploited, and all those were my original bands that I was like literally just a kid. I was into that, right? I grew up in like a communist country, Hungary, right, at the time. And, so to me, punk music was that absolute rebellion. Like, oh, fuck this, let's burn this down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He did not like communism, so, and I still don't. So that's what I started with, and then Iron Maiden was probably the first metal band that I thought, because that influenced me. Like, wow, this is something different, and then I started to pick up everything from them, from starting with Iron Maiden, and got into pretty much everything heavy metal, and then I went into the more of a Bay Area thrash metal, the Testament, those bands. I listened to a lot of Anthrax, obviously Metallica, so that was kind of the thing. And as for guitars, I mean, I always thought like Yngwie Malmsteen is the greatest guitarist ever lived and will ever live.
Yep.
So when it came to the instrumentalist, I would be listening to Yngwie Malmsteen, Vinnie Moore, and the usual suspects, all the shredders. I was into that. So that was kind of my upbringing musically.
What about your first ever guitar?
Wow, so first ever guitar. Again, we're talking about Hungary, talking about communism. An average person makes at the time, made about $100 maybe a month.
Yep.
So for me to actually have a guitar was an impossible dream. So I started out with a custom-made air guitar, and I made it. I was jumping up and down and pretending to be a guitarist. Well, in my head, I was a guitarist. In my head, I was in Iron Maiden, So basically, I had no fucking chance, But I actually ended up I found a broken second-hand guitar that I took apart, and the neck of the guitar was usable, so my parents were really happy about this. I took a jigsaw and I destroyed a coffee table. I actually made my first guitar out of my parents' coffee table when I was like 12 years old. And I put it together. It was fairly horrible, but somewhat playable, but it was a guitar, So that was my first guitar, and I had the guitar maybe for 2-3 years, and it's obviously got in the way because you could really, it was just a piece of crap. I mean, I made it, imagine. So, but I was not, that was my mentality. I'm not going to give up, this is how, everything was at that time, especially in communism, that I just did not accept the system. I did not accept. I was not going to live on my knees. I just could not accept that. I'm going to be part of that machine. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And so this was one of those things. And then I was maybe like 15, 16 when I actually got a better guitar that was sort of playable. But my first guitar, man, it was a coffee table guitar.
I was going to say, so your second guitar wasn't part of your parents' furniture anyway.
No, the second one was not.
So what about the first car? What about the first car you ever bought?
First car. So in communist countries, right, you could only buy cars. And this is an insane fucking story. And every time I tell this story to, people who grew up in the West, they just can't even believe it. But, but I think I tell these stories so people can actually understand and appreciate that you were born into a pretty nice world with, constitution and laws and rights, and, you can't be just, things that can't be just simply violated, and, you have a certain level of freedom, and, and when it comes to the cars, I'll tell you the little story. So in communist countries, you could only buy cars that were also assembled in other communist countries. And because the government owned everything, there was not really a private sector, so you had to go to the car dealership, which was a government basically.
Right.
And then you could pick like 7-8 models, and from the 7-8 models, I don't know, have you ever heard of the car Yugo? It was made in Yugoslavia.
No.
It the worst car that was ever imported in the United States. While in communist countries, that was the best car that they could have.
Wow.
And the average car, what the name of the car was called Trabant. 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 This car was actually, the way you put gas in it, that you had to pop the hood, and then you have to mix gas and oil, because it was a two-stroke engine, a 600 cubic centimeter two-stroke engine. The car was made of compressed wood. I'm not telling you. Compressed wood. That's the body of the car. You can stick it in with your, if you want it, it would break. And imagine 26 horsepower. 26 horsepower. So that was the most people's cars. The maximum speed was 60 miles an hour.
Awesome.
But here's the kicker. You go to the place when you can buy a car. So you have to pay half of the price of the car in advance. So you go there and pay half of the car. And then they say, okay, cool, we're going to give you a number. And when your number comes up, then you can come back and pick up your car. Okay, the average waiting time for the shittiest car was 3 years. For a better car, you have to wait 4 or 5 years. So imagine you pay half of the car, and then you wait 4 or 5 years, and then you get your car. Yeah. You had no choice of interior. You could pick the color. If whatever came up, that was your car.
Oh, no.
Baby blue. Well, then it was fucking baby blue. So my first car I was driving was a baby blue Trabant, which was that car, 26 horsepower, fucking made of basically compressed wood, 600 cubic centimeter, two-stroke engine, and I had to mix the gas myself. So it was wrong. I mean, it was fucking insane. So that was the first car I was driving.
That's fantastic. And then the last question, just your favourite drink, mate?
The favourite drink? Well, I'm not really a drinker.
That's right. You're the daddy of the band. I forgot.
Yeah, I'm the daddy of the band. But I just never, for some reason, it's like, like smoking. Tell you the truth, anybody who's smoking, nobody actually started smoking like, pulled a couple of drags off of the cigarette and went, wow, man, this tastes fantastic. I gotta do this. No, everybody who started smoking was struggling too, because they wanted to be cool, so they were smoking, and they struggled too to get used to the smoke. So I always looked at that like, why the fuck are you doing that? Yeah. It makes no sense to me, right? And so it's like kind of like I never really got into drinking, because I didn't really care. If I drink something, it's like it would be like maybe rum, like some Caribbean rum that's somewhat sweet, you know what I mean? But I'm not really a drinker, you know what I mean? Maybe socially, I do drink sometimes red wine socially, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or some Caribbean rums sometimes. That would make, like one of those beach drinks with a little fucking stupid umbrella. That would be probably a rum that I would get. Otherwise, sometimes I would drink red wine. Speaking of that, actually, there is an Australian red wine, actually. Funny to say that we're talking about Australia here. There's an Australian red wine that I don't know the name, something Longfoot or whatever the fuck. My girlfriend usually buys that, and so that we always have that.
Oh, yes.
So that is actually an Australian red wine that she always gets, and that's
right.
With dinner sometimes I have it. Mm-hmm.
Mate, fantastic. It's been a great interview.
Now, if you're asking me about my favorite gun, man, now we're talking.
We haven't got that long, buddy.
Yeah, right.
No, thank you so much for your time, mate.
Absolutely.
And what I'll do is I'll talk to the management here in Australia, and I'll send some copies of the magazine over, and you can give one to Chris and Jason, maybe.
Oh, absolutely.
Fantastic. Thank you, Zoltan. Good on you, buddy.